because the digital world clearly is growing. All the creator content that's happening, big part of why we're here, AI obviously, but this analog component, people also want excuses, I think, to put things down and just like go out, have a conversation, just talk to people. And 3 weeks ago, I posted this on LinkedIn. When I joined King Ranch, one of the things I said during my interview is, if I'm going to talk about the ranch, I need to go work cattle. I need to get on a horse and go work cattle. So if you go to my LinkedIn, I'm working cattle.
So
it's
fun.
crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition, the first interview of Possible 2026. We are here in Miami, and I'm here with David Zucker, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of King Ranch. David, thanks so much for coming on.
Nice to meet you. Honored to be the first.
Let's go. We're kicking it off. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about King Ranch for those that aren't familiar, and what brought you to Possible this year.
So David Zucker, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for King Ranch. I've been there just over 7 months.
Nice. Fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat, yeah. I was the Chief Marketing Officer for Perdue Chicken for 6.5 years before that, and then the GM and Chief Marketing Officer for Omaha Steaks. So
Nice.
been in the
protein business for a minute.
Been in the protein business for a while. King Ranch is based in Houston and basically just south of Corpus Christi. We have the largest ranch in the U.S. It's 825,000 acres. And,
Wow.
So some fun facts. We have 30,000 cattle. It's the third largest cattle herd in the country. And then we have a huge agriculture business, commercial hunting. We have a saddle shop, so we sell a lot of stuff online. So a lot of different consumer-facing businesses and then ag businesses.
Let's go. That's awesome. And what brought you to Possible this year?
Honestly, very interested in AI like every marketing person. So we're a super scrappy company, really focused on building the brand. So we're a family-owned company, 173 years old.
Wow.
I'm the first Chief Marketing Officer.
Sounds like Yellowstone.
Sounds like, well, we're actually referenced several times in Taylor's shows.
Yeah, I remember. I've seen it.
So I'm looking to AI to really help me scale the businesses that I'm building.
So what are some of the practical uses of AI that you're using? 7 months in, are there ways that you're already utilizing AI today?
Oh yeah, so the two biggest are research and insights. So it's just unbelievable. So things like Perplexity have been super powerful for me just for getting insight, collecting information, because it's so good at sourcing. I've been using Claude to kind of help create things, make things prettier. So, but I'll be honest with you, 7 months I've been there, it probably has saved me probably 1 or 2 headcount in terms of just
crazy.
Getting started, putting things together, developing strategies.
So on the insights side, are you using it to build, I know there's a lot of talk right now about this idea of like synthetic audiences where you can kind of create a audience, or you can actually take your actual first party data and upload it to some of these systems, and you can talk to your audience essentially. You can ask the audience questions, you can expose it to creative, you can run campaign ID, even A/B test, videos. It's like I did an interview with a agency who had created a synthetic audience of Generation Alpha, and then they actually did a first-party core 900-person sample as well, just to like A/B test to see how it compared, and it was about 95% similar to the focus group.
Oh, interesting.
Are you doing anything around the the synthetic audience stuff?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah,
are you
definitely.
using first-party or like are you using your own data essentially to run things against?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
awesome.
we actually were doing some focus groups for a business we're thinking about getting into. Loaded that into both ChatGPT and to Claude, and we're using it. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm getting back. Because it's AI. Obviously, it's AI and all the technology that's driving it, but we're using it. It seems to align with what we're seeing from the audiences that we're talking to, but it's really early, and I'm not sure how to take it yet. And so we haven't done enough focus groups yet afterwards to kind of sense check what we're hearing from the LLMs yet.
Got it. So anything you are really excited to check out this week? Like, are there panels or kind of parts of the conference that are kind of must-see TV for you that you're absolutely not going to miss?
I got to tell you, I mean, the reason I came was all of the focus on AI.
Nice.
I mean, so I'm not a huge one to attend conferences like this. They just tend to be, people talking about things that they can't share real kind of real details.
Everybody's under NDA, and nobody wants to tell their secret juju, and they don't want to admit it if they messed up, and if they did really good, they don't want to talk about it because they don't want their competitors.
Or you're being sold to really, really heavily.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of made a couple of connections. They talked about this being kind of the U.S. version of Cannes.
Yeah.
I went to Cannes 2 years ago and found that really, really valuable. And the program that it looks like that got put together for this event here over the next couple of days is just very applicable things around AI. So things to think about with creator content, things around measurement, things around brand strategy. And so as someone who's, even though I've been in the marketing space a long time, very analytically driven, being in conversations like this around people who are thinking kind of on the bleeding edge, that's really why I came.
Got it. Very cool. So King Ranch, I'm familiar with the brand from driving down the highway and seeing F-150s with the King Ranch emblem on there. And for a long time, I was like, oh, I guess maybe that's just like a, heavy duty version of a Ford pickup.
Trim line.
It's like a Denali or somethsomething, like when you get a GMC, you get a Denali instead of the typical truck or a Chevy. But for your job as a marketer is obviously to take that kind of brand awareness, I'd suppose, from that, and then to really kind of channel it into all these different verticals that you guys are already in, but also, like you mentioned, finding new ways to monetize the brand, whether it's direct-to-consumer businesses, the fact that you own this huge cattle ranch, and direct-to-consumer protein and beef is taken off through companies like Good Ranchers, and all the iterations of farmers, people that make the nation's food, fiber, and fuel. They're generally kind of stuck with intermediaries to tell their brand story, like supermarkets or whatever protein goes into it's usually the source material for other brands to make their stuff and then go tell their own story. So 7 months in, what are you seeing a lot of good opportunities to flex on that kind of tangential brand awareness that I mentioned from case study of one, or do you think that's going to be a challenging thing to do?
You wrote my job description. Clearly, you talked to the company. So here's the thing. So like I said, I'm the first chief marketing officer ever at King Ranch. We're a 173-year-old family-owned company still. So 7th generation, 8 generations actually. The job description when they hired me was really twofold. We want to figure out how to structure the brand, and we want to figure out how to monetize it. But what they don't want to do, it's very clear that the family has done things in the past that are very premium. So we actually had a trim line in an airplane.
Wow!
Right.
So like a Gulfstream or a Phantom or something like that.
Exactly. Right.
Wow,
and so cool. But what we didn't have while we did those things was kind of an organization internally to manage it. So my first kind of task has really been to help the family understand what a brand is, how to structure it, the kind of attributes that you need to be able to manage it. And we're pretty well through that conversation, and the family's done a lot of work on vision, mission, values, and the attributes that are really important.
Yeah, kind of the legacy building, and
things
really
like
what do you
heritage,
stand for.
right, exactly.
And,
all the things that kind of any marketing person needs to be able to go figure out how to kind of work with a brand. And so once I figured those things out with the family, we're kind of close to finalizing that. Then the question really is how to structure to go make money and how to monetize it. Things like the Ford relationship, as I've explained to the family, and we've had these conversations, that people know our logo and people know the relationship with Ford. There's a lot of people don't realize it's a real ranch, and that's what attracted me to the company, is that you think about all of these companies, whether they're food companies, whether they're clothing companies. So we have a saddle shop, we make our own clothing. We have all the goods behind it. All these other companies are great marketing on top of someone else's product.
Yeah, they're essentially a license.
Right, and so we've got great product. Now the question is, how do we go tell people about who we are? And so that's really what the next step is figuring out what is the story we want to tell, and how do we want to tell it in a way that we're premium, we're exclusive, and we can kind of command these high prices and high margins without getting too commercialized. And we have a strategy to how we're going to go do that. We've got multiple consumer-facing businesses that we're currently in that we can expand. There's new ones that we can get into that can build on the heritage and things that we've had. But I mean, we've got, amazing businesses. We sell, like I said, we have 30,000 head of cattle. We breed our own horses. We have 30 cowboys, like real cowboys. Like that work, like it's like they work for the ranch, and it's that kind of strength and equity that, from a marketing standpoint, is just amazing to go build on. So super excited about doing that.
I love it. It seems like there's a good moment too where, you look at the most successful. We talked about Taylor Sheridan already, but I find it fascinating that the most successful entertainment studio right now is telling stories not about billionaire hedge fund managers in New York, or people in Hollywood running around trying to be actors. We see spatterings of that. The people are still obsessed with Wall Street and like some of these other kind of East Coast, West Coast centers of influence and culture. But there's been this kind of resurgence, or at least Taylor Sheridan started creating stories for the Heartland, first with Yellowstone, but you've got stuff like Lioness, about female in the military, females in the military and special operators. You've got Landman. Whoever thought that people would give a crap about guys working on oil rigs, but I am all in. I love it.
Great
it's
storyteller.
He's a great storyteller. He just did another one about, I think it's called, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's about a river.
Madison.
The Madison. Yeah, I just tore through that whole thing in a couple of days too. And great talent and great storytelling. But, I think there is this, I think COVID, with people kind of moving around the country or getting second houses in the wilderness or spending more, I did it. I bought an RV and I drove around the country for 2 years.
I'm jealous.
I did
cool.
2 5-week trips, all the way up to Montana and Yellowstone, all the way down to Texas, to the Gulf of Mexico, all the way out to Florida.
Should have come by the ranch.
I know. I wish I would have known. But there does seem to be this fascination with the muscular class, the people that are out there working the land, growing the food that feeds the country, living lifestyles that are maybe a little disparate and disconnected from sitting in a cubicle and working in a desk, but still very modern stories, and still very premium stories. Like these are aspirational lifestyles. Guys driving cool trucks, flying around on private jets. They're country, but they're also like super successful, and they're living. They're going to nice steakhouses and hanging out in private clubs and drinking bourbon. It's like, it's aspirational.
We have
too.
a bourbon.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool. So do you see, what do you think it is about this moment in culture where, these types of entertainment programs can generate such massive audiences, and how can you continue to align your story with those audiences?
So I think it's two things. One is, a lot of what you just described. Taylor Sheridan, more than anything else, he's just an amazing storyteller. And so he's, like you said, he's done it in multiple different genres. I would tell you that the things that, like Landman, the Madison, the ones he's done about the West, Yellowstone, things that have spin-offs from that. I think for me, what's really exciting about that, and the other thing that attracted me to this experience at King Ranch, is that it's more analog, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think, everybody's spending so much, this, right?
Yeah, we're talking
podcasts,
exactly.
digital. As soon as you say cowboy, you immediately think outside. Who doesn't want to ride a horse? It's aspirational, but cowboys don't make any money, right? And they're definitely not flying around in private jets.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really exciting. So as a marketing person, been in the digital world, have done a lot of direct-to-consumer things. The thing that's really exciting about this is that I think people are they're really desiring experiences, and if they can't get them all the time, touching them a little bit, but that's the aspirational part.
Yeah.
If they can come down to our ranch, we have visitor center tours. You can go around and you can tour our cattle operations and our horse operations and see and be on part of the largest ranch in the United States. And that's just something I think that I think is going to grow. The digital world clearly is growing. All the creator content that's happening. big part of why we're here, AI obviously, but this analog component, people also want excuses, I think, to put things down and just like go out, talk, have a conversation, just talk to people. And 3 weeks ago, I posted this on LinkedIn. When I joined King Ranch, one of the things I said during my interview is, if I'm going to talk about the ranch, I need to go work cattle. I need to get on a horse and go work cattle. So if you go to my LinkedIn, I'm working cattle.
So
it's
fun.
crazy.
That's
and now I used to ride horses when I was younger, but it took me like 3 days to recover from working cattle with these cowboys. I mean, because you're going back and forth, and it's just different muscles.
Yeah, it's a hard
and
life.
It is a hard life. I mean, these guys, we cowboy our cattle specifically because it's just better, it's less expensive than, it's better for the animals, it's less expensive than kind of a mechanized way of doing it. And there's real reasons to do it. And it's just that, again, it's that analog experience. I think from what I'm seeing that's attractive to me and differentiating. And that's from a marketing standpoint, those are the kind of things that make brand messaging powerful, brand delivery powerful, and kind of make people want to identify with your brand.
100%. And I think that experiential component is so important. If you go to Ireland and you go on a tour of a Irish whiskey company, or you go, these
the bourbon tours even in Kentucky.
just the human, like when you have an experience with a brand, it imprints on your mind in a different way than just buying something or
going
tasting
into the stores.
something. Yeah, even like I think of like the Tommy Bahama restaurants. It's like whenever I'm in Florida or Palm Springs or somewhere, Hawaii, where there is one, I go in and then I buy some Tommy Bahama shirts next door because you had a real experience with the brand that is memorable, and it's around that whole experience economy that you're talking about.
100%.
So, very cool. Awesome. Well, if folks want to follow along with your cattle ranching adventures or learn more about King Ranch, where would you like to send the audience to stay connected with you, but learn more about what you're doing with this amazing legacy brand?
So I'm on LinkedIn, but King Ranch we at king-ranch.com is our URL. All of our information's there, and there's going to be a lot more information coming in the next 6 to 12 months. So super excited about kind of what we have planned.
Amazing. Well, have a great week here at Possible.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us and kicking off the show.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.